over the place. I don't know if I did or not. Okay, intersect. And I'm gonna put the left bound right about there, and the right bound right about there. It don't matter where you put them. And there's the guess. No, not intersect. Dork. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Maximum.
Mine looks like right now.
I don't. You know, the bombs have me so shaken up. I don't know what to do. The misspelled bomber. All right, there's our maximum at 53 and 53.99. I would go ahead and say 54. So the what do you call it? The vertex is 54/6519. So that's your maximum.
That's how much.
Somebody tell me how many years. Let's see.
So
Let me look at the question. Okay, add 54 to 1990.
I think you're
What do you get?
Just like exactly.
I'm sorry, what? 2044. So in 20,000 or 2044, the maximum population will be blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, they're going to ask you something about 6322. So we're going to type in we're going to type in y is equal to 6322. And that is going to give us that right there. So type in y is equal to 6322 because that's what the question's asking. And now blow up that section and tell me where the intersection points are.
Anybody
got a question?
I got this one for this year.
Y'all just talking? Okay, that's fine. Just talk. That's fine. You know, I'm only trying to do class here. That's all. Zoom box.
Calculator.
Oh, y'all helping each other?
Yeah, his calculator's doing a bunch of errors.
Oh, okay. Errors or errors?
Error.
Amazon. Errors.
Pendleton.
Pendleton. Where are you from? I'm from Pendleton. Williamston. You ain't from around here, are you, boy? All right, there's your two intersection points. And I'm going to hit second calculate, or second trace, and I'm going to find the intersection point on the left. And I just hit enter, enter, and then I move over there. And the first one is 30 and 6322, of course, because that's the line. So write down 30. X is equal to 30. Now I'm going to do the other. So I'm going to go over to the other side. I'm just going to go over there. And I'm going to hit second trace, intersect. And I'm going to hit that, and then I'm going to go over here and guesstimate. I'm supposed to move it. And I got 78. So the first one was 30 and the second one was 78. So now you can take your handy dandy numbers and add 30 to 1990. What do you get?
2020.
2020. And I put a period after it. Okay, that's incorrect. Well, I have no idea what it's going to ask then. World population will reach 6322. Okay. Okay, they must have rounded up. Okay, I'm sorry. Round to the nearest year. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't read directions. That's the answer. So what was let's go back to our calculator. 77, I thought I rounded to 78. Did I not? And 78 plus 2000 or 1990, what'd you come up with? I'm sorry, the other one. I'm sorry, let me go back. Crap. Trace, let me go back. See why I don't like this question?
I actually did a couple.
Hold on.
I was like on YouTube.
First curve,
He just messed
second
up.
curve,
Yeah, it's all
there. Okay, 31. Add 31 to 1990.
2021.
There you go. So you're supposed to round 30.2 up to 31 because the directions on the final answer say round to the nearest year. So there's no such thing as 30.2 people, and in population models, there's no such thing as 30.2 years. It's 31 years.
My dad was
All right.
right.
Does that help whoever asked this question?
Alf and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's not a question for the test that's coming up, but it's for later as a gimme question. You know, don't have to do much math. You use the calculator. This is a test question. So let's do it. And I'm just going to get you started, and then we're going to move on. I'm not going to sketch it and do all that. Y'all can do that. Let me go to my handy-dandy whiteboard that I hadn't pulled up. I thought I'd pulled it up.
I'm sure.
Okay, so we've got 2x squared minus 13x, 2x squared minus 13x plus blank is equal to 7 plus blank. Now, the college algebra class yesterday, they had brain bubbles the whole class, okay? I started factoring out the 2, and they started going, well, I thought you were supposed to complete the square. Before, let's write this down. Before, and I've been saying this the whole time, before you can complete the square, comma, A has to be equal to positive what? 1. What is A equal to right now?
2.
You can't do completing the square. So you have to get A is equal to 1. So you're going to have to factor out a 2. So when you factor, now I'm going to put some baby steps in this one. When you factor out a 2, what are you actually doing? Multiplying or dividing?
Divide.
You're dividing. So I'm going to put a 2 there, and I'm going to put a 2 there. And whatever you factor, you've got to multiply by the right side blank. So 2 divided by 2 is what? There you go. X squared, I'm going to put a little dash 1 there because that's what you need to complete the square. Minus 13 halves x plus blank is equal to 7 plus 2 times blank. Now you have to complete the square. When you complete the square, it's b divided by 2 and you square it. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say b divided by 2 and I'm going to square it. I'm going to put a baby step in here. Negative 13 over 2 divided by 2 over 1 and square it. Negative 13 divided by 2 times what? What's the reciprocal of 2 over 1? 1 over 2. I'm putting a lot of baby steps in here. And that's going to be negative 13 over what? 4. And I square that, I get 169 over 16. So let's take a handy dandy green highlighter. Now you got shortcut number 2 on the left hand side. 2 times x minus 13 fourths quantity squared is equal to, time for another baby step, 7 over 1 plus 2 over 1 times 169 over 16. Handy dandy red marker, and that 2 will cancel there and cancel here. We've got to have a common denominator, right? is 8. How many times will 1 go into 8?
1.
8 times 7 is?
56.
Y'all are so smart. So, I've got 2 times x minus 13 fourths, quantity squared, is equal to, well, that's going to be 56 plus 169. I have no idea. What is it, 225?
225.
Oh my gosh, why is that a good thing?
Because
225 is a perfect square. So I'm going to erase our baby steps over there. Does anybody have a question about this over here before I erase it? Make sure you put that in your notes, because some of you were on the calculator drill team in high school and you basically have to be refreshed on how to do fractions, which is 5th grade math. So I'm going to erase that. And we get 2 times x minus 13 fourths, quantity squared, is equal to 225 over 8. And at this point, we got 2 or 3 things that we can write down. One, we can write down our vertex. Vertex is 13 fourths, comma, negative 225 over 8. That's your vertex. Your y-intercept is what? 0, negative 7. And your function, your intercept equation is 2 times x minus 13 fourths, quantity squared, minus 225 over 8. Okay, so there's 3 things that you can write down at this point. Your y-intercept, which is given. You should get 2 things right on every single question that I give you. What are they? The domain and the what?
y-intercept.
Y-intercept. If you get either one of those wrong, you do not tell anybody. Does anybody want to bet me somebody will get it wrong?
No.
Same people who shouldn't have a driver's license. All right. Or procreate.
I would take that honestly.
So I'm going to move this over to here. And I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2 over 1. 2's go out. X minus 13 fourths, quantity squared, is equal to, what happens, what do we get here? I multiply by 1/2, and that gives us 225 over what?
16.
Oh my gosh, that's even better. Take the square root of both sides. X is equal to, well, 225 is 15. Positive or negative 15 plus 13 over 4. And what's 15 plus 13?
28.
That's going to give us a 7 as an x-intercept. Negative 15 plus 13 is negative 2. Negative 2 over 4 is what?
Negative half.
And that's your second x-intercept. Now you should be able to draw it. Domain, range, increase and decrease in line of symmetry. Next question. And just to see if we did it right, it says you use a comma to separate, so is this all it's going to ask? We'll do it. Ask 15 questions, I'm not going to do it in class. So negative 1/2, because we read from left to right. 1 divided by 2, comma, well, no, comma, 7, and we feel good about ourselves. So we don't have to put on excessive makeup and look like a Oompa Loompa.
How'd you get 56 over 8?
I've already finished this problem, I'm sorry. Where? 56 over 8? I have to have a common what? What do you got to have add fractions? Common denominator, and this denominator is what? 8. So I have to change this 1 into an 8. How many times will 1 go into 8? 8 times 7 is?
56.
So that's why I got an 8, 56 over 8 right there. Comprende?
Yeah.
You got it?
How'd you get the 15? X equals plus or minus 15?
Whenever you take the square root of 225, you get the positive or negative. Whenever you take the square root of any number, you get the positive or the negative. And you can put that in the numerator and it will subside for the denominator. Or you can put it in the denominator and it'll totally screw up everything. But we put it in the numerator because that's where it is.
So you don't have to take the square root of 16 too?
Yeah, I did. But see, the positive and negative you can pull out to the front of the problem like that. So positive or negative 15 is where it ends up. It always goes with the top numerator. Now factor it out. It would take about 3 or 4 lines to show you, but it's not worth it. Just put it in front of the top, okay? Because the positive and negative is in top both the numerator and the denominator, but when you factor it out, it sits with the numerator. Okay. Anybody else got a question? And we did get it right, so at least we know what we're doing. Next question. That is a test question, so we went over the first test question. The next one's a test question. It's 3.1. I don't know what 3.1 is, so let's see what it is. Okay, this is where they give you a physics question, but they don't give you enough information. So I don't agree with this question, but if I give you a question, it's going to have this in it right here. And I think we went over this question, and I told you to make a note of this. Okay? Did I tell you to make a note of it?
Yep.
I think I did. So right quick, you need to write that down again. I'm going to write it at the top. And that's going to be S is equal to your initial height plus your initial velocity, t, times time, minus, oh well, I just wrote it fast backwards, I'm sorry. I thought it was in the wrong, let me just write it the way it's supposed to be, stupid. Negative 16t squared plus the initial velocity times time plus the initial height. Okay? So, in this question, it says initial with an upward velocity of 176, that's v sub o, when t is equal to 0, from a height of what? 10 feet. So that's your initial height. So in this question, you've got 56 feet per second from a height of what? So now it becomes a test question. So S is equal to negative 16 t squared plus 56t plus 4, or negative 16 t squared plus 56t plus blank is equal to negative 4 plus blank, because I set it equal to what? I set it equal to 0 because when you set y is equal to 0, you find the x-intercept. So, I'm going to factor out what?
16.
Negative 16. That gives you t squared. Somebody take 56 and divide it by 16. What do you get? Are you going to get something nice or something decimal?
3.5.
Okay, so it doesn't work. So we got to take it down. I'm just going to put 56. That'd be a negative. So I'm going to make it a negative because I don't want to have to depend on that calculator. So negative 56 over 16, and I think that will reduce down to 3 over 2, but somebody check. Negative 4 plus negative 16 times blank. And a reminder, whatever you factor out, you have to multiply by the right side blank. So does 56 over 16 reduce down to something over
7 over 2.
7 over 2? Okay, that's good enough for government work. So negative 16 times t squared minus 7 over 2t plus blank is equal to negative 4 plus negative 16 times blank. Now we're going to go over here and take 7 halves and divide it by 2 and square it. 7 halves, divide by 2 over 1 and square it. 7 halves multiplied by 1 over 2 is equal to 7 over 4. And what do you do with 7 over 4? Square it. 49 over 16. Okay, finish it. I got negative 53. What'd y'all get?
Yep.
And why? What happened to the 16s?
Can't.
That negative makes this a negative, so that's going to be negative 4 minus 49. That's how you get negative 53.
So if it cancels out, you don't have to add the 16.
You don't have to add the what?
The 4 and 16.
Well, this 16 cancels with this 16. So you just leave that 49 just drops down. It's negative 49.
Okay.
Yeah. If it helps, do this. And I try to do this when I do a baby step. Write that negative 16 as negative 16 over what? 16 over 1. And you're multiplying, so what happens to the 16?
Okay.
That may help you. Okay, so now we've got a vertex, and I want y'all to draw this one out because you need to, because it's a physics question. And anytime you're dealing with a physics question, you need to draw a what? A picture, always. So you need to draw this one out. Your vertex is 7/4 and 53. That's your vertex. So your highest point is 53 feet. Okay? They're going to probably want to know where it hits the ground or something like that. So we'll go ahead and find the x-intercepts. Your y-intercept is what? 4, 0, or 0, 4. That's your y-intercept. And if you want to, f of x is equal to negative 16 times t minus 7/4 quantity squared plus 53. And that's the intercept form of the equation. And now I'm going to finish it. Somebody take 53 and divide it by 16. I don't know. 4, 3. You're not going to, that's going to give you a decimal?
Yeah,
okay.
3.3.
Don't do that. Yeah. Negative 16, t minus 7/4 quantity squared is equal to the square root, 53 over 16, which square root is going to give you t take the square root of both sides, and that's going to be t minus 7/4 is equal to positive or negative square root of 53 over 16. Now, let's talk a minute. The square root of 49 is what? The square root of 64 is what? Okay, so 7.5 is in the middle. 49, 50 to 64 is 14. Half of 14 is what? 7. 7 plus 49 is what? 56. What do we need? We need 53. So 49 to 56 is what? 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. 3.5 or 4 is going to be 50 what? 53. So 53, give or take a little bit, it's going to be 7.3, 7.25 or 7.3. Somebody check that for me. 7.3 is equal to positive or negative 7.3 divided by 4. Well, I took the square root, sorry, that's supposed to be a 4. And t is equal to positive or negative 7.3 plus 7 over 4. Now, what's 7.3 plus 7? That's 14.3 over 4, which is going to be 3. 3 will go in there. That'll be 23, which will be what? 5. And then 37. Somebody, is it 3.57? What's 14.3 divided by 4?
Yeah, 0.57.
Okay, so let's circle that in blue. That's an x-intercept. And let's do the other x-intercept. Negative $7.30, and you pay $7 toward that, you still owe 30 cents, right? So that's going to be 30 cents divided by 4 is 0.7.
Mm-hmm.
So negative 0.7. Somebody help me out.
Yeah.
Point what?
I got 0.07.
Okay, 0.07 or 0.7. Somebody check it. I did it in my head, so I can't.
It's
remember.
0.07.
0.07. Thank you. 0.07. There's your two x-intercepts. So draw a picture. I'm going to erase that over here. Somebody got a question first? Okay, I'm going to erase the first part right here. I'm going to erase this. And the reason I'm going to erase it is you need to draw this because it's a physics question. And they're basically asking you where the x-intercept is and where the vertex is. So you got some kind of negative 0.07, you care less because you can't throw a ball behind you when you're throwing up. So it's going to go from here. That's what they're interested in. They're interested in these two spots. They're interested in that spot, and they're interested in that spot. Now, the only other spot that they could be interested in a physics application is where is the height. Let's see, the height, the biggest height is 53 feet. Where is the height 50 feet? Okay? And I'm going to put that in red. Where is the height 50 feet? Well, 50 is about right here. 50 feet. Y is equal to 50. And that's going to be right in there. And there's going to be two spots. And that's the only other two spots that they're going to want to know. Okay, so you either set the equation equal to 50, or you draw a line in your graph on your graphing calculator, y is equal to 50, where they cross and find the intercepts. Now, I don't know if this question is going to ask that, but it looks like to me they just want the vertex. And the vertex is 7/4 and what? 53 feet. So that's where the 53 feet comes from right there.
Oh, it's
Okay.
56.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, it's 53. Never mind.
And it looks like they got that part right. So that's how you do that question. But beware, there may be a homework question in there or a test question. Now, this is not a test question for Monday. This is a test question later. Okay, this is another calculator question, basically. But they may ask for y is equal to 50. What about y is equal to 25? Yeah, but it would be probably on the negative side over here, so that don't count. That don't count, and that don't count. Because when you're on a building and you're throwing it up in the air, is there any way that you can throw it behind you? Not when you're throwing forward. So the negative don't count in this application. All right, any question on this one? Now, the reason I went over this one, even though it was a calculator question, is because you needed to practice on the complete the square, because I would use that, where's the original? Negative 16t squared plus 56t plus 4. I could use that as a question for next week. Not the application, not all the words, just that. So that's why I did it complete the square. I did it just to confuse people. Next question. Lord, I don't need to do that. All I got to do is some of y'all just open your mouth. Let's see. 13, it's 3.1, number 13. Let's see if it's, I don't keep up. Okay, this is a calculator question. I'm not going to go over this one right now because I'm not going to give you this one next week. This is a good question for later next week, but calculator question. So I'm not going to go over that one right now. This one, 3.1, number 19, is that the same one? Yeah, that's a calculator question also. So I'm going to leave that one alone because it's either a calculator question or a quadratic formula. Why? Why is it calculator or quadratic formula?
Big numbers.
Not big numbers, but also what? Big numbers and what? A decimal. So you got apples and oranges in that one. So that's when you use calculator. Now all y'all say, well, Hubert's anti-calculator. What did I just tell you to use on this one? Why? Because you don't cut a board with a hammer. Okay? Think about that for a minute. You don't cut a board with a hammer. You don't use a calculator for everything in mathematics, okay? You have to use your brain. Or it's just like when you break your leg. When you break your leg and you keep it in a cast for 6 to 8 weeks, can you walk on it first time you take the cast off? No, you can't, because those muscles have not been used. If you don't use those muscles, then when you run a cash register and somebody gives you 6 cents, you don't know what to do. That's why the calculator drill team should be done away with in high schools. But y'all wasn't on the calculator drill team. 3.4, I think this is a question for later. Yep, that's a question for later. We'll go over that later. I'm not bypassing your questions. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to get y'all ready for this test. That's the same question we did a while ago, calculator question. Okay, this is a test question for later, but it's also a complete the square question. Is this one already completed, yes or no? Yes, x plus h, quantity squared. Yes, this one's already been done. Now what do you do with it? You find the vertex, and then you find the x-axis. Dang, I made my breakfast right this morning. It tastes like a yoo-hoo. All right, so we got x minus 7 quantity squared is equal to negative 4. First of all, are we going to have x-intercepts, yes or no?
What'd you say? Bill.
Are we going to have x-intercepts, yes or no? No, you're wrong, you're a failure. No x-intercepts, because we're taking the square root of what? A negative, and there's no negative a over here to divide by to make it positive. So this is a red indicator, red flag. Dang old red Y highlighter. Here we go. That right there says no x-intercepts. So you write over here, no x-intercepts, and then we got to put it in terms of what? We got to put it in terms of I. What's the vertex? The vertex is what, y'all?
7.
How did you know that? God, you smart. 7, comma what? 4.
Over. 4.
Wait, are you trying to make fun of me? All right, I'll send you a package. All right, so 7 and 4. I said a package, okay? I didn't say what was in the package, all right? So I don't want anybody going to the FBI and saying, Hubert's gone crazy. All right, so here we go. X minus 7 is equal to the square root of 4 and the square root of negative 1. What's the square root of negative 1? So 2i. And x is equal to negative 7 plus 2i. Now, I want you to highlight in green the way this is written. That is the proper way to write I. I don't care how you write it. If you wrote 2i minus 7, I would still give you credit. But in the homework and the test, they're going to say, look right here, form A plus BI, and that is the correct form. And that's all they're going to ask you on that. They might ask you for the vertex. Is this a test question? Not for this week, but the one after. So most of these questions that's not 100% completing the square is going to be on your second unit test, unit 2 test. There's going to be 2 unit tests, one completing the square and one on the rest of unit 2, which should be easy because you know how to complete the square. Once you know how to complete the square, you can do the rest of unit 2. Believe me, y'all will say, oh, I see what you were talking about now. Okay, let's go to another question. Let me make sure what time it is before some of y'all explode. Okay, we're good. Some of y'all go into spontaneous combustion about 10 minutes before class is over. I'm just making sure we've gone over everything. Complete the square. Gone over, boy, y'all have used that question to death. I think that's all the questions that have been sent. Let me look in my inbox and see if there's anything else. Okay, does anybody have any? We're going to go over a couple more because I'm going to go over a couple of fractions because y'all won't send those because they don't have them in the homework because they believe y'all can't do fractions. So we're going to do a couple. If I can find my, there we go. Go back to the whiteboard. Now we've done about 2 problems that are put on the test. You're talking about 10 problems. So I'm going to give you 2 or 3 more. I'll see if you can do it. So let's go with negative 3 x squared plus 7x plus 4 is equal to 0. All right, now you should be able to do this in about 2 or 3 minutes as far as completing the square done. So I'm going to take out my handy dandy timer and I'm going to time you for 3 minutes. If you don't get it done within 3 minutes, that means you suck and you need to do more problems. I'm sorry if you need a cry closet or a puppy, you need to look one up because I don't know where you find them around here. 3 minutes. What's up with the Easley campus? Y'all got people sitting around the room. What's up with that? Y'all outcasted those people or what? Huh?
Charging their laptops.
I thought y'all were treating them like those people that used to be in the cubicles, like me with the earphones. You know, treating them like outcasts. Okay. Yeah, when I started at Tri-County Tech, I had the earphones on, those little styrofoam looking earphones. Yeah, trying to learn how to add fractions. Why? Because I play football. All right,
I
got 2
saw
minutes
it.
left.
On YouTube, you did an interview with some guy because I was looking up the YouTube channel. And it was
You're
like
stalking,
interview.
right? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I was stalking you down.
Yeah. Yeah, I did an interview. What were you laughing about? The interview. What about it?
Oh no, I was just saying I just saw it.
Oh, you did? I thought I said something funny in there. Yeah, they did that when I was, about a year or two ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it was. Because I'd served as the chairman for the land use board for over 20 years, and they did an interview for me.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess that would be my 3 minutes of fame. That being in Ron Rash's books. Anybody ever heard of Ron Rash? No, I'm in his books. In one of the books, I'm a deputy that beat up hippies. I think that was St. River. Can't believe y'all never heard of Ron Rash. And he lives in Clemson. I'm sorry, Clemson.
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 Oh.
I hope them dogs beat those Florida Gators this week.
I was looking at it. 16 over 32.
That's going to be the game this week. Next week, it's going to be Alabama and dang old LSU.
LSU.
That's going to be a slobber knocker.
It's -7 over 3.
Yeah, Captain. All right, let's see. How many of y'all? Okay, you got 3, 2, 1. So, if you're not at least at the vertex spot, you suck. Okay? You should be at least at the vertex. Please don't raise your hand and say, "You're talking about me." No, I don't know who I'm talking to. Okay? So don't raise your hand. Don't do that. All right? So, here we go. -3 x squared plus 7x plus blank is equal to -4 plus blank. -3 x squared minus 7/3 x plus blank is equal to -4 plus -3 times blank. Half of 7/3 is 1/2 times 7/3, which is 7 what? 6, which is 49 over. There you go. 49 over 36. And that's going to give you -3 x minus 7/6 quantity squared is equal to, let's see, let's take that 3 out. Let me use my handy dandy red marker. And this is 3 over 1. So I'm going to take that 3. That'll cancel with that. So I can make this 48 what? 12ths. So, what's -48 minus 49 over 12?
-97.
-97 over what? 12. Y'all check my math there.
Yep.
And do we have x-intercepts on this one?
Yes.
Why? Because the -3 is going to make the right-hand side what? Positive. Got to look for that. So our vertex is 7/6, comma 97/12, whatever that is. Okay, that's our vertex. And our y-intercept is 0, 4. And our function is f of x is equal to -3 x minus 7/6 quantity squared plus 97 over 12. Now let's continue. Divide by 3 and multiply by 1/3. That'd be negative. That'd be 97 over 36 equals x minus 7/6 quantity squared. And that's going to give us x minus 7/6 is equal to, now you're not going to be able to do this because the square root of 97 is just about impossible to do in your head. over 6, because 100 is 10. So that's about impossible. I would say, what, 9.8?
9.8 is what I did.
Well, somebody check it. Let's see how close we are.
It is 9.8.
9.84, good. So it's 9.8. Positive or negative, 9.8. I guarantee you there's somebody in one of these rooms that are going, yeah, I know math now. I can take the square root of 97. 9.7 over 6. Yeah, man. Ready for space shuttle, man. Ready to build that space shuttle. I can take the square root of 97 in my head. All right. Dang old, get her done. 9.8 plus 7 is 16.8 divided by 6. Did I take the square root? Yeah, okay, divided by 6. So that's going to be 16 divided by 6. That'll be 248. 1.8? 2.8. Is it 2.8?
2.8.
So that's positive 2.8. And then negative 9.8 plus 7 is negative 2.8. And negative 2.8 is going to be negative what? 0.46.
Yeah.
And there's your x-intercept. Now while we're at it, go ahead and graph it. See if everything lines up. See if you did the math right. Well, how many times 97 divided by 17?
That's
97
12.
divided by 17,
That's 12.
isn't it?
7.
12.
Or 12. What's 97 divided by 12? Thank you.
8.0. 8.0.
Okay, that's going to be way the heck up here. And 2.8 negative 4.6, so that looks about right. 2.8 be over here. There's your parabola. All right, who's got a question on that one? 3 to 5 minutes is what you should be able to do each of these in 3 to 5 minutes. Well, here, but what about the fractions? Yeah, but what about the ones that are x squared plus 4x plus 6? X squared plus 4x plus 6 you can just about do with your eyes closed. It won't take you 3 to 5 minutes to do x squared plus 4x plus 6 or minus 6. It'll only take you about maybe 2 minutes. So that way you save all your time for some of those that are... Now, what should you do on the test? When you're looking at the test and there's 10 problems there, you should look for the first ones that are what? A is equal to 1. Why? Because you get those done quick. You get them done quick, then that leaves all the rest of your time for the fractions and the factor outs. All right, so right quick, let's go back to the first question we did and see how long it takes you. You ready? X squared plus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. I'm going to time you. And somebody tell me how long it takes you. Somebody just yell out, I'm done, whenever you get the vertex and the x-intercepts. Somebody will screw it up.
I'm done.
Minute and 10 seconds. It's a miracle. How long did it take you to do the first completeness square, whoever finished it? How long did it take you to do the first day?
Probably 5-6 minutes. Well, I followed you, so however long it took.
Are you saying that you have learned and you have progressed? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
But I'm a terrible teacher. Okay, so the rest of y'all suck pretty much if you haven't done it in a minute and 10 seconds. X squared plus 4x, puppies are outside, plus 3 plus blank is equal to 3 plus blank. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. X plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to what? Boom, you got your vertex. Now, most of you probably got your vertex because that's the first thing. How many of you, everybody got your vertex? Yes or no? Just mumble it.
Yep.
JC, Miss Vickery, y'all can talk to me. Did y'all get the vertex?
No.
No. Okay, well, JC has just let me down. What about you, Miss Vickery?
Almost there.
Almost there. Okay, well, y'all pretty much suck, okay? Because y'all should have gotten it within 10 minutes. So I'm very disappointed, JC. You disappointed me. You're going to lose sleep tonight, aren't you, JC?
No.
I didn't think so. All right, so take the square root of both sides. And that's the vertex is what? -2, comma, -7. And x plus 2 quantity squared, oh gosh, 7. There's no way we can do 7. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is what? 3. The 4 to 9 is what? 5. Half of 5 is 2. 2.5 is 6.5. 6.5 is equal to 2.5. We need 7. There's no way we can do 7. X plus 2 is equal to positive or negative 2.6. Somebody take your calculator and take the square root of 7. What is it? 2.6 minus 2. $2.60 minus $2 is 60 cents. Negative 2, you owe somebody $2.60. You owe somebody $2, you owe them $4.60.
Yes.
So there's your x-intercept. Your y-intercept is -3. Isn't that nice?
I got 0.7. I rounded to 0.7. I'm angry.
Okay, well, you'll probably get it wrong on the test,
I mean, that's 10.
which means that you pretty much.
Which means you're a minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah, you got it wrong. So you're not the winner that we all thought you were.
I got 0.7 and.
No, forget it. Be quiet.
0.7.
Be quiet.
So-
We're not talking to you anymore.
If we're
All right,
rounding-
here we go. I'm gonna get you started on this one, and I know it's 7 or 8 minutes till. So the zipper fetish people, just take the pill, okay?
I like it.
So 1/2 x squared minus 4x plus blank is equal to -3 plus blank. This one is not as bad as you think. When you divide by 1/2, you multiply by what?
2.
Okay. So your b is not going to turn into a fraction like you think it would. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. This one you should have the vertex at least a couple of minutes. When somebody gets the vertex and you think it is correct, let me know. I want to know how y'all are writing on a calculator or a laptop. Pendleton?
I have paper. right here.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
How are you writing with a laptop and no paper and a calculator and a phone and no paper?
I don't have a phone. No.
I'm not talking about you with the phone. The other guy has the phone or the calculator. How are y'all doing that? Or are y'all just being rude and disrespectful and not doing what I say? Which one is it? Okay, we'll leave it at silence. Just make sure when you ask me a question, I'll start talking on my phone or start playing on my computer while you are asking me a question. For those 2 or 3 people. It's not just one person. Good job. How long is that? Somebody said they're just done. That's 1,033 seconds. I said what, 2 minutes?
Yes, sir.
So I'll give y'all another 30 seconds. Go ahead.
What am I doing?
I got it.
Now, why am I worried about how much time? If it takes you 15 minutes to do that last problem, you need some serious repetition. Okay, 2 minutes. You should be at least near the vertex, near it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to factor out a 1/2, but what does that do? That gives me an x squared, but what does it give me here? Oh my gosh, I thought it was going to give me a fraction. So half of 8 is 4 times 4?
16.
1/2 times x minus 4, quantity squared, is equal to -3, and I'm going to put an extra step in here. What's half of 16?
8.
So 1/2 times x minus 4, quantity squared, is equal to 5. Your vertex is 4, comma, -5. Your y-intercept is +3. Now I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 1/2, which means you're going to multiply by what?
2.
So that's going to give you x minus 4, quantity squared, is equal to 10. X minus 4 is equal to positive or negative 3.1. X is equal to positive or negative 3.1 plus 4. That's 7.1 or 0.9. Somebody check my math.
Yep.
So we've got a intercept of 7.1 and 0.9. Sketch it out right quick. Now see, that was a problem that had a fraction in it, and it took less time to do that one than it did to do the first one we did. And we got 2 minutes for those with the zipper fetishes. So just stand by.
Wait.
All right, 0, 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm not really worried about careless mistakes, because what's going to tell me if I got a careless mistake? The sketch. 4, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7.1. 4, 5, 6, 7. And 0.9. Looks like to me everything lines up. Alrighty. Now we've done 3 questions from the homework, 2 or 3 questions, and then we did 3 questions that I made up. That's 6 questions. I know we did 4 questions at least last time or the time before. You've had 2 to 2.5 weeks to go over this. So everybody should make an A on this test. Unless there's 2 things. There's 2 reasons why you wouldn't make an A on this test. Anybody want to tell me? You're lazy and you didn't do any problems, or you still got this communication hang up and you don't want to talk. One of those 2 reasons. Or you play on your computers while I teach, one of the 2. All right, questions? All right, be ready for the test next week. See y'all later.
We're gonna ask
weekend. You still have the weekend to do your homework on 3.1 and 3.2, I think. Did somebody look? Did I do it with you?
Oh, yeah,
Or
that's
did I
all
do
I
it for all of them?
Yeah, but
Just those two, so that way everybody be working on those two.
So we're only
Y'all
doing,
have a good day and pull for them dogs, okay?
Hey Hubert,
Yes,
what are you gonna ask for in the test? Like the main range, all of that.
everything.
Is the test on paper
Yes,
and it's next class, right?
yes. What?
It's
I'm sorry,
next
what'd you
class.
say?
there you go.
It's next class, right?
What did she say? I didn't hear
Next
what she
class,
said.
right?
Yes,
Next class.
yes, I'm sorry. The thing kept breaking up because the other classes are leaving and it kept breaking in on you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ready for it?
You're supposed to watch that during class while I'm teaching. You're not supposed to wait till after class. What are y'all watching? Easley's not even paying attention to me. Easley! I can't even hear me. Bye-bye.
Victory, and it just feels like he's ready to touch the moon. I can fly!
What are y'all watching?
A skit.
All right.
All right, y'all be good.